Okay, folks, I will call the meeting to order. May I first apologize for some confusion about the start time. The official start time is 4:30, so I thought if I set the Zoom session starting at 4, that would give people plenty of time to log on early. But I think, and I'll check the settings for NC State's Zoom software. I think you can set a 15-minute before the official start time for folks to log on. So I'll do that next time to try to allay that confusion. We do have 6 of 9 here, so we have a quorum. However, this is going to be a relatively short meeting. I have been just inundated with other work and have not had a lot of opportunity to think about the tree commission this week. So let's look first at the minutes. Craig is doing a very good job of giving us a summary. Are there any questions or comments or additions to the minutes from our last meeting? If not, the minutes are, well, I forgot to share a screen. That would help. Okay, can everyone see the minutes now?
Yes.
Okay. So any suggested revisions to the minutes? If not, the minutes are approved. I want to give just a brief update on Alliance for Cape Fear Trees activities. Connie has been involved all day in trying to decide what to do about the fundraiser at Wrightsville Beach Brewery last night. Recent tree distributions, we had 850 trees on February 26th at Legion Stadium. That was one sponsored by Verizon and Arbor Day Foundation. And then the really exciting time was this past Saturday. We had 1,500 3 and 5 gallon trees with the grant sponsored by Sage Insurance, which is a company based in Ohio. And they sent a dozen people down from Ohio to serve as volunteers to help. We had about 200 people in line when the squall line hit. Oof. None of them dressed for the weather, though those of us who knew we were going to be working all morning came dressed for it. Only about 100 of those folks left. There was at least 100 people that stood in line through that rain and wind to get their trees. So they got their trees. There were a couple hundred left over, and either Aaron, could you give us a quick update on how those are going to be distributed?
Yes, you're probably right. There were roughly 200, maybe a few less than that, left over. They actually have to go to Worthington Farms tomorrow to pick up some trees for the city. So I'm just going to pick up the remainder of what they were not able to deliver last Friday, which I think is another 200, 230 trees, something like that. And the plan is to do a giveaway Friday afternoon from 12 to 4.
Okay. Do you have plenty of help, or do you need some additional volunteers?
I think there'll be a couple of staff there, but if anybody wants to volunteer, that would be helpful.
Okay.
We would definitely not say no.
All right. I know Connie was going to send an email out to try to get a few folks. I think I can be there, but I have to. But so that's 12 to 4 on Friday afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, thanks.
They're at the pool, same location.
Yeah, right. Okay, I just wanted to mention the Acft fundraiser that was scheduled for this evening. Guy and I were looking at, I looked at 4 different weather sites, looking at the forecast, trying to decide whether to try to hold it or postpone it. So the decision was finally made to postpone. So the committee that was planning this activity was scrambling late morning, early afternoon to get everything rescheduled. And Judd, thank you so much for hosting this and your folks working with us to get it rescheduled. So that will be next Wednesday evening from 6 to 9 at Wrightsville Beach Brewery. So, of course, everyone's invited to come to that. So, everyone, you can have the floor again. First of all, was there much tree damage from the storm last Saturday morning?
We had a decent amount, mainly just limbs down, some large limbs. We had a couple of whole trees that went down, but nothing too terribly major. But there were quite a few broken limbs that we've probably gonna take us a little while to get around to all of them. Most of them didn't get called in, so we're just kind of cleaning them up as we see them for the most part.
Right. Okay. Any new developments on the urban forestry management plan? The activities going on there?
Yes, we're just the consultant Davy Resource Group is still plugging away development of that. The tree inventory portion of it is still ongoing. So that to be about it for right now. I think we'll have another update meeting in a couple of weeks, I believe. But so far everything's going fairly smoothly.
Okay. All right.
Jim, I don't
Yeah,
know.
go ahead.
Jim, I don't know if you're aware, but there was a lot of trees down next to Airlie Gardens as a result of the storm. Actually, some of the roads
Yes.
are covered that they had to, then remove. Because I drove through it just probably, I don't know, hours after the storm, and they had removed a lot of its stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the main sites that we were cleaning up. They had 2 or 3 trees come down out there across the road. So.
Yeah. Mostly pine trees.
Pine trees. Pine trees aren't supposed to go down. They have tap roots.
I was
Okay.
told it was a couple of oaks.
Okay. I have just a couple of items of business, and Alana, I will contact you very early next week. I'd like to schedule, and we can do this by Zoom, but schedule a meeting with your three-person committee to sort of hand off the data I've got on heritage trees, and so y'all can get rolling. I'd also like to establish a small committee to revise the WTC website. We've talked about this for a long time. Is there someone among you who really loves to play with websites who would be willing to take this on?
Who do we use to manage the website?
That's what I was just going to ask. Thanks, Melissa.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand, Melissa.
Who handles the website now? Like, is it like Squarespace, or is it working with the city of Wilmington and their design?
Well, it's working with the city of Wilmington. Craig, what were you able to accomplish in actually being able to take control of our section of the website and make changes to it, or do you have to pass along requests to the folks who maintain it?
Yeah, to give you a little update on that, I have access to it. It's sort of odd when you are on the WTC page and you click on some of the links to go to I think it's 3 other pages. It doesn't look like it's going anyplace different from the outside, but it's going to a different part of the city as far as the oversight on it. So I have access to that first one, and I absolutely should and will be a part of this website committee. I have been trying to work with Aaron's side to find out who actually has the forestry side, because they're the ones that are maintaining the other. And I think there's a change in staffing, and there's not clarity on who that is.
Can you
However,
actually make changes to the page though?
I actually made changes so the dates are correct on them, and actually added some information about that. But ultimately, I'm going to have to figure out who that person is in forestry so that they can do it. But we can mock up what we want, and you just hand it to me. It'll be my job to find out who is going to update it. That isn't the load that we have to lift from here. I'll figure it out.
Okay, because I'm capable of giving you the design if I know who's making the design and what elements they have to have. So I need to know what platform they're building it on to know how they want it.
Well, Melissa, if you have some skills in that area, may I assign you to work with Craig and ask everyone else then to take a look at our website. I think one thing we need to do is move the link to it up to where it has much more visibility. And I'd really like to sort of to discuss this with Aaron's folks as to whether we might be able to have a site that's higher up in the hierarchy of the city's website that would have sort of an urban forestry or urban tree title, and then sections underneath it for Aaron's group and for the tree commission, and maybe even a link to ACFT and some other things. So what I'd like to do at this point then, if Melissa, if you work with Craig and learning more about how the city website is set up and what it's going to take to make some changes, and if everyone else then would take a look at our section of the website and think about what we need to do to improve it.
Hey,
Yeah,
Craig.
I'm happy to help in any way. And I just want to make sure I'm clear. We're just talking about the page we have on the City of Wilmington's website, or do we have a separate independent website?
No, it's a page within the city's website, but
Okay.
you have to really drill down to find it the way it's set up now.
Right. And I
Ms.
don't
Kelly.
know.
Can y'all hear
Aaron,
me?
you have any input on that issue?
Jim, can you hear me again?
Yeah.
This is Kelly.
Yep. Go ahead.
I recently reached out to Parks to find out how to update the tree crew website or the page of the city website.
Right.
And I was told to put any changes in photographs, any updated verbiage into a folder, and then to pass it on to Marion, I believe, over at Parks and Rec, and that she would make the changes all at one time. But she didn't want anything until I had absolutely everything in one folder for her to do that. She said it would be real quick and dirty. So that was my point of contact and my only investigation of the whole website issue.
Okay, that's a good suggestion, because Marion has actually made some changes to our website last year. Some minor stuff to the Here's Tree application. So apparently she has the power to make changes and the skill to do it. So, Craig, if you and Melissa would sort of get together, and it sounds like Marion Doherty probably is the contact point then for dealing with that. But like I said, and I've got some ideas that Melissa and Craig, I'll just pass those along to y'all in the form of an email. And there's some other things, activities that have been going on within the Alliance for Cape Fear Trees that have been ostensibly been co-sponsored by the Tree Commission, that we need to get onto the website. So I'll pass that information along. Okay, that's all I've got. Is there any other new business that anyone else needs to bring up today?
Hey, Jim, just as an FYI, Margie Herring from Alliance, she and I are meeting Friday morning to talk a little bit more so I can understand some of the things they do when they market and see how we can support them.
Okay.
And I know one other to do, Aaron, I'm not going to put you on the spot on this one, but we would like in a future meeting, if you could educate the group more on what the Tree City requirements are. We could put you on the spot, maybe the next meeting, just to give us a quick idea, maybe assume that we have no knowledge, tell us about it, and then, what you annually or, have to do each year to keep that certification.
Yeah, we can do that fairly easily. If you want to just give me a reminder a couple of days ahead of time, I can pull that together pretty quick. It's pretty simple. It's nothing really extensive.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm making myself a reminder to remind you, Aaron, so you can be prepared to talk about that at our next meeting. Okay, one more Zoom meeting, and then I suggest that May we try to meet in person, either in the classroom at the Arboretum, or if the folks are still a little bit anxious about meeting in a group inside a room, we could meet outdoors. But I really would like to see everyone face to face again finally.
Jim, what's the date of that next meeting?
What's that?
The date of the next meeting, Zoom meeting?
I think it's
Just-
April 20th, according to the website, but I don't know if it's right or not. But
Yep, April 20th will be the April meeting. So we are now adjourned until 4:30 p.m. Wednesday, April the 20th.
Can I ask a question and just see if somebody knows? the
And
answer?
if it doesn't rain tonight, I'm going to be in real trouble with Connie. So Judd, bring on the rain.
Can I ask a question to see if
Yeah.
somebody know the answer? I have an apricot tree. This has nothing to do with what we're doing. I have an apricot tree that produced a ton of apricots last
Wow.
year, but all the squirrels got to them before I could get to them. And I need to know when to net it. So I know that I can put a huge net over it. Do I wait until they start coming out as little apricots and then net it? Does anybody know?
Well, if you're
Squirrels
using
inside the city limits.
if you're using the typical bird netting, it won't hurt it. After the blossoms have started, after the petals have died and fallen off, and the small fruit are just starting to form.
Okay, so that's when I net it.
Yeah, that would certainly be my suggestion.
Okay, because otherwise the squirrels and I are going to have a major fight.
Yeah, and my experience with fruit trees and trying to grow tomatoes, the squirrels will eat them while they're still green. They don't wait till they get ripe.
I grow corn for them to eat in between all the tomatoes, and they eat the corn, which is fine with me, and they
Yeah.
leave the tomatoes alone. But they ate every single apricot, and that pissed me off. So anyway, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, everyone have a good weekend. We'll see you
too.
next
thank
time.
you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank
too,
you.
thank
Pray
you.
for rain.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.